moving. He said, as a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ. He says, it has become clear to the whole palace guard. The palace guard refers to the men that were placed in charge of Paul. He is in jail, but actually he is under house arrest under Roman care. So the palace guard refers to a group of people who have been placed in charge of him to make sure he doesn't get anywhere. So the way they have it set up is Paul is to be chained to a man 24 hours a day. He has been in prison for 2 years. They work in 6-hour shifts. Okay, let me see if I can work this. He is chained to 4 men every day. The palace guard had at least 10,000 members in it. There were at least 10,000 people in the palace guard. All right? So look at this favorable situation. He says, I want to go and I want to preach the word. If you know Paul, and let me help some of us out, Paul's desire was always to get to Rome. He always wanted to go to Rome. That's where he's in prison right now. He says, I want to go do ministry in Rome. But Paul's thing was, I want to go as a preacher. But God said, I can use you better as a prisoner. See, some of us get messed up because we say, God, I want to go be a superstar. But he says, I can use you better as a servant. Says, God, I want to be blessed. He says, but yeah, right now, I can use you better while you broke. God, when they hire me, I want to be the supervisor, yes, but right now, you be more useful as a subordinate. He said, I want to go to Rome, and God said, yeah, I'm going to send you to Rome, but not in the way that you expected. Why? Because now, because you're a prisoner, I'm going to place you around some influential people who actually have access to the palace, who if you went as a preacher, you would have never met. You have never had an opportunity to get in front of these people. And your story is so good that when you tell it to them, they're going to tell it to their friends. Let me prove it to you. 10,000 people in the palace guard. He is chained to 4 per day. They work in 6-hour shifts, right? 24 divided by 6 is 4. So he's chained to 4 every single day. Now, if there was never a repeat shift for 2 years, if no one ever repeated their shift, that means after 2 years, he would have had 2,920 direct hits. But the research says there were at least 10,000 people in the palace guard. So if the most direct hits he could have had was 2,920, there were over 7,000 that he couldn't hit. But he said, my message has gone to the whole palace guard, which means his story was so good, somebody else had to tell it on his behalf.
Yes, sir. I'm done, man. I'm done, man.
Says, my restraints have released me to receive favor. I'm moving on. Secondly, he says, my restraints